extend out this creep highway. And if you have an observer with you, deny them creep tumors as much as you can. It seems like a little thing, but it's really huge, because I like to think about it this way. If the Zerg has creep somewhere, that is their map control. And in 1v1, you always want to have the most map control as possible. So if you deny these creep tumors, the Zerg will be contained even more. I was actually asking one of my friends, like, what is the hardest thing for you to deal with when you're playing a Zerg in 1v1? And he says, players who are able to contain me very well, I have the hardest trouble. And that kind of makes sense, because Zergs who contain other players very well, I mean, that's really hard to kind of battle that out. Zerg swarm, how do you deal with that? It's really difficult, because if they get that fast expansion up, then they'll start expanding out everywhere, and you'll be on 2 bases, and it's really tough to deal with. So if you can contain them first, and that's kind of the idea here. And right now we are kind of just exchanging tit for tat at the moment. He is starting to bring out these creep tumors, but I'm in a good position because he's not trying to harass my side at all. And I have this proxy pylon here and this probe here. I usually even like to set out 2 probes. I feel like gaining that information about when your opponent is going to be attacking you is worth a probe for sure. And you're even able to run them out if you keep your eyes on the map for long enough. And so this guy just finally getting his expansion, and I'm getting mine as well. And like I said, if you are keeping a Zerg on 1 base, you're going to have a pretty good advantage. I have Colossus, he has Roaches and Hydras, so I'm in a pretty good spot right now. And what I used to, back in the day, what I used to not like about Colossus is that Zerg would just get Corruptors against that. And me to kind of battle that, I decided, well, I'd get maybe 2 or 3 Colossus, no more than that, and then I'd switch to Void Rays, because usually against this combination, people will start going really heavy on the Roach, and their Corruptors will be able to take out any Colossus. And Roaches are better than Hydras versus Colossus, so you are forcing your opponent to go Roaches right now, and at the same time you're forcing him to go Corruptors. So that's going to be a counter to my Colossus, but I also have these really deadly units, the Void Rays. So the Corruptors have to decide, what do they want to take out first? Do they want to take out the Void Rays or the Colossus? Either way, 2 units which are very effective against this Zerg composition right here, because Void Rays will be able to take out the Roaches really well, and Colossus will be able to take out Roaches pretty well too. So he's got to make a decision, which one does he want to take out. He's really not going to be able to take out both of them. So that's kind of the theory craft behind there. So finally, he was able to take out my proxy pylon and my probe. He's got tons of Roaches right now. I'm just starting to saturate this base. And another reason about getting that Robo, which is really good, is that against Roaches, Immortals are just fantastic. I mean, they negate 6 of their damage, and they do 50 damage to Roaches. So 3 shots on a Roach and it's dead. So if you get a couple of Immortals, it's really, really good. Stalkers also have that bonus damage to Roaches. So good composition, having a couple sentries to deny. The Guardian Shield is really nice, and Force Field to try to deny fleeing Zerg forces and splitting up forces if it's too large for you to deal with. So you see right now I'm getting my Observer because I don't like the fact that I haven't really seen what he's been doing right now, but I'm also trying to avoid a head-to-head confrontation because I want to make sure that I have enough Void Rays to deal with him. So now it looks like that's what I'm doing. Here comes the Changeling right there, and poor Golem didn't get his precious. He even had robotic legs there. That was kind of cool from the Zealot form. And here comes the Observer, so I see where he has his creep tumors, and I'm going to be able to deny him that. So when we fight here, he's not going to have that extra speed, at least if I wait about 30 seconds. I'm not sure, or a minute, I don't know. Creep sometimes takes a while to dissolve. But yeah, I am denying him his creep tumors, and I do have a pretty good composition against him. I've got 2 Void Rays, I've got 2 Colossus, I've got Immortals pumping out as well, 1 more. And so yeah, here you see he is very weak, or he has tons of anti-air, but once those Hydras are down, I mean, I really just have to deal with these Roaches. So I'm gonna, either way, if the Colossus or the Void Rays go down first, I'm gonna be in a pretty good position to outmatch him. So here comes the battle, and the Void Rays are starting to attack, and he is actually choosing to hit the Void Rays first. So my Colossus are just eating up the swarm right here. So Void Rays are down, and he just has really not much left. You see his numbers are dwindling down. The Corruptors are attacking, but it's like, why does it even matter? I'm just denying his entire force. So he's got all this investment tied up into these Corruptors, and I'm not making any Colossus anymore. So what is he going to do with them? I've got Stalkers and Immortals. So at this point, I'm just going to keep pushing out, and I'm Overlord sniping right now, trying to deny him, if he does have like tons of resources backed up, trying to deny him the ability to recuperate. So he's actually going to be supply capped right now, and he is producing more roaches and hydras, but that's about all he's going to be able to produce for a while. I'm producing a Void Ray. And here comes his force, and I'm denying any kind of Zergling Swarm that might be coming here. So I block off that choke using my Guardian Shield to try to deny some of that damage, and yeah, pretty much this guy really can't do anything. So that's why I like it. I even got him to Nerd Rage. So this strategy is just so much fun. So yeah, a lot of my PvZs have been looking somewhat like this lately. What's nice is having that sentry early, because if you're fighting a Bane Zerg, because that is a typical strategy on a Zerg who fights one strat. If you're fighting a Bane Zerg, that sentry field is nice to block off, maybe even block off, split up a couple of the Banelings so that you can manage the explosions a little bit better, as well as have some more time to bolster up your forces and maybe choke off a little bit better. So that's kind of the idea there, and I feel like it's a pretty good PvZ strat, solid all around. You know, the game's very dynamic, so there's going to be lots of different instances that call for different types of units, but that's kind of what I like to do in the long run. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. And people have been asking me, like, Maze, why don't you have any subscribers? I really like your videos. And thank you so much for saying that. I'm flattered. But I guess tell your friends, and that way I'll get more subscribers. So thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode of Mazeesports.